Life is full of unexpected twists and turns. And sometimes, the truth can change everything we thought we knew. Today, we bring you a story of love, sacrifice, and discovery that will touch your heart. Join us as we follow Jack, a devoted father, on an emotional journey that uncovers deep secrets about the past and redefines what family truly means. This story is a testament to the power of love, resilience, and the bonds that tie us together in the most unexpected ways. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to begin today's story with life stories. There's a kind of peace that comes with fatherhood. A quiet assurance that you know your children in a way that no one else ever could. For Jack, being a father was the one thing that truly made sense in his life. He had always dreamed of becoming a dad. But life had other plans. And he never found a partner to share that dream with. But then, the universe presented him with a gift. He became a single father to twin boys, Ethan and Noah, and from the moment they arrived in his life, everything changed. The joy, the laughter, and even the exhaustion felt like a beautiful balance. A rhythm that spoke of a family growing together. Built from love, not biology. Jack had always felt a deep bond with Ethan and Noah. He knew their every need, their every little quirk, their favorite foods, their dreams. As they grew, so did his love for them. The community around them in their small town of Ashford admired Jack for his dedication. He was known as the devoted father who had courageously adopted these two boys. And though the road to fatherhood hadn't been easy, Jack had found joy in the journey, in raising them with all the love he had. But one day, everything changed. It wasn't the boys themselves or any external force. No, it was a simple piece of paper, something as ordinary as a birth certificate. It was a piece of the past, something Jack hadn't thought about in years. As much as he loved his sons, he had accepted the fact that their biological parents were a mystery to him. The adoption had been closed, and Jack had come to terms with the fact that he might never know the details of Ethan and Noah's birth parents. For years, it had seemed unimportant. What mattered most was the present, the life they were building together. But everything changed the moment he held that envelope in his hands. Ethan had fallen ill, and Jack, ever the protector, wanted to make sure he understood all the medical risks involved. He had applied for the court order to access the boys' birth certificates. It had been an agonizing wait, filled with uncertainty. Each day, Jack had imagined 1,000 scenarios. Was there a hereditary illness lurking in the twins' past? Would they be able to handle whatever medical challenges lay ahead? When the court finally granted access to the birth certificates, Jack was relieved. He thought it would ease his worries. But when he opened the envelope and saw the names listed as parents, his world tilted. There, in black and white, was a name he hadn't expected. The name of the boy's mother was none other than Sarah, his high school sweetheart. The name stirred something deep within Jack. Something long buried, something he had not thought about in years. He had not known the woman's fate after they parted ways. The love they had once shared, so full of hope and youthful promise, had faded with time and distance, leaving only memories of what could have been. But now, the truth was staring him in the face, and he was overcome with emotion. As his hands trembled, Jack's mind was flooded with memories of Sarah, the late-night walks through the streets of Ashford, the laughter they shared, the dreams they once talked about. But those memories were more than just pleasant nostalgia. They were painful, too, for they were linked to a time in Jack's life when he had believed in the possibility of a future that, in the end, never came to be. He and Sarah had parted ways after graduation, and life had taken them in different directions. Jack had always wondered what had happened to her. But he never expected this. How could it be? How had Sarah's life become so intricately tied to his own again? Through these two boys, his sons? He had never asked for details about their biological parents. It had seemed unimportant. The twins were his, and he had always known that love made a family, not blood. But now, the truth was out there, and it was something far more complex than Jack had ever imagined. This discovery would not be easily forgotten. For Jack, it was more than a simple shock. It was a profound shift in his understanding of family, of identity. and of love. The revelation was both beautiful and heartbreaking. His sons, Ethan and Noah, had come to him not just as children to be raised, but as a living bridge to a past he had long since closed the door on. This knowledge threatened to unravel the very foundation of everything Jack had built with them. Yet it also made him realize how deeply intertwined their fates were. What would this mean for the family he had created with them? Could the past and the present coexist? Could he continue to love his sons with the same devotion, knowing the hidden truths about their origins? Jack wasn't sure, but he knew that whatever happened next, his love for them would not falter. Yet, there was no denying that this discovery had opened up a chapter of his life he had never expected to revisit. As he sat there, staring at the birth certificates in his hands, Jack felt a surge of emotion. This was no longer just about being a father. This was about a family. One built on love, loss, and rediscovery. The journey ahead would not be easy, but it was one Jack knew he had to take, for the sake of his sons and for the sake of his own heart. The days that followed the revelation of Sarah's name on the birth certificates were filled with a whirlwind of emotions for Jack. His mind seemed to race uncontrollably as he replayed every moment he had spent with Ethan and Noah. How could it be possible that the boys, his beloved sons, were connected to Sarah, a woman from his past? The truth of their origins was still too much for him to fully comprehend. He had always known that family wasn't just about genetics. But now, with the discovery of Sarah's identity, his understanding of family was being tested in ways he never expected. The more Jack thought about it, the more he realized that he needed to understand Sarah's life. The life she had led after they parted ways. He needed to know why the boys' adoption had come about, and what had happened to Sarah in the years since their relationship ended. He couldn't shake the feeling that there were layers to this story, layers that had been hidden from him all these years. There was so much more to discover, and Jack was determined to find out the truth. With the birth certificates in hand, Jack began his investigation. He started by asking around in Ashford, where he had last seen Sarah many years ago. As he dug deeper, he learned that Sarah's life had taken a turn in a way that he could never have imagined. Sarah had been involved in a complex surrogate arrangement, one that had been meant to help a childless couple fulfill their dreams of parenthood. Jack learned that Sarah had agreed to carry the twins for this couple, never knowing that her own life would become so entangled with theirs. The arrangement had been a carefully thought-out plan, a way for Sarah to provide a precious gift to a couple who could not have children of their own. Jack had always believed that Sarah had chosen a different path after their breakup. But he had never imagined this. The surrogacy had seemed like an act of love, of selflessness. And Sarah had embraced it wholeheartedly. But, as with so many things in life, the plan did not go as expected. The surrogate arrangement had unraveled under mysterious circumstances, and Sarah's life was forever changed. As Jack delved further into the story, he began to uncover the heartbreaking reality of what had happened after the surrogacy. Sarah had faced unexpected challenges, and the emotional toll had been much greater than anyone had anticipated. The adoption of Ethan and Noah had been the result of a complicated and painful journey for Sarah. A journey that had left her vulnerable and struggling to find a way forward. Jack had no idea what she had been through, and the more he learned, the more he realized just how little he had understood about her life after their parting. The discovery of Sarah's involvement in the surrogacy and the difficulties she had faced sent shockwaves through Jack. It was a revelation that brought with it both awe and sorrow. He had always remembered Sarah as the vibrant, hopeful young woman he had loved. But the reality of her life, the struggles she had endured, and the sacrifices she had made left Jack feeling both humbled and heartbroken. The emotional weight of her choices had shaped the very lives of the boys he now loved as his own. And that realization was not easy to bear. But there was more. Jack had learned that Sarah's health had declined rapidly after the birth of the twins. And shortly thereafter, she had passed away. Her death had been a tragic ending to a story that had once been filled with so much potential. Jack's heart ached as he thought of the life she had left behind. The life that had been so intertwined with his own but had slipped through his fingers all those years ago. Despite the sadness of it all, Jack found himself growing more and more determined to understand the full scope of Sarah's story. This wasn't just about uncovering secrets from the past. It was about understanding how Ethan and Noah had come into his life. It was about piecing together the complicated, beautiful tapestry that connected them all. And perhaps, most importantly, it was about understanding the woman who had given him this unexpected gift, the woman whose legacy now lived on through the children he loved. The discovery of Sarah's past, her surrogacy arrangement, and her untimely death left Jack reeling. His world, which had once felt so certain, now seemed filled with uncertainty and complexity. Yet, amid the shock and sorrow, there was something deeper at play, a deeper connection between him and Ethan and Noah. A connection that transcended bloodlines and family trees. As Jack grappled with these revelations, he found himself facing a new chapter in his life. One that required him to not only accept the truth but also embrace it with open arms. Jack's heart ached for Sarah and the life she had lived. Her love for the twins. Her decision to become a surrogate to help another family. And the sacrifices she had made were all acts of profound selflessness. Yet, as Jack delved into the details of her story, he couldn't help but feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude. If it weren't for Sarah's choices, Ethan and Noah wouldn't be in his life. These two boys, who had filled his days with joy and laughter, were the living embodiment of Sarah's love and sacrifice. In a way, they were the bridge between his past and the future he had never expected. As Jack sat with these thoughts, he realized that he was facing a profound decision. He could choose to see Ethan and Noah as a continuation of Sarah's life. Or he could push aside their shared history and focus solely on his role as their father. It wasn't a decision he took lightly. The truth about their origins had been hidden from him, and he had to come to terms with the fact that he had been unknowingly living in the shadow of a story far more complicated than he had ever imagined. But, in the end, Jack knew that his love for the twins wasn't bound by genetics. They were his sons, and that would never change. The more Jack thought about it, the more he realized that his commitment to Ethan and Noah had to be about more than just raising them. It had to be about honoring the legacy of the woman who had brought them into the world. It was about embracing their history, no matter how complicated or painful it might be. Jack knew that Ethan and Noah deserved to understand the full truth of their origins. To know the woman who had given them life and who had shaped the course of their future. It wasn't going to be easy. Jack knew that. The truth about Sarah, about the surrogacy arrangement, and about the circumstances surrounding her death would no doubt stir up difficult emotions for the twins. But Jack also understood that the truth had a way of healing. It might not be easy to face, but it would allow them to better understand who they were, where they came from, and what kind of people they could become. One thing became abundantly clear to Jack during this time of reflection. Family wasn't just about being connected by blood. It was about love, commitment, and shared experiences. Sarah's legacy lived on in the twins. And in honoring her memory, Jack was not only embracing their past but also strengthening the foundation of their future. He would raise them not just as his sons, but as a living reminder of Sarah's spirit, her sacrifices, and her love. Jack made a silent vow that day. He would ensure that Sarah's story would never be forgotten. He would tell Ethan and Noah about their mother, about the woman who had given everything for them, and about the deep love that had brought them all together in the most unexpected way. As he looked at the twins, their laughter filling the room, Jack knew that their journey together was only just beginning. No matter the challenges that lay ahead, they would face them as a family, united by love, by history, and by the enduring legacy of a woman who had made it all possible. In the end, Jack's journey of discovery led him to a place of profound understanding. He had always believed that love was the most important part of a family. But now, he saw that love was intertwined with history, sacrifice, and the stories that shape us. Ethan and Noah weren't just his sons, they were the embodiment of Sarah's legacy. A connection that transcended time and blood. By embracing their past, Jack had woven a richer, deeper bond with them, one that would last a lifetime. As they continued their lives together, Jack knew that there would be more challenges ahead. But he also understood that they were stronger together. With every laugh, every lesson, and every shared moment, they were building something beautiful, a family not defined by the secrets of the past, but by the love and resilience they had cultivated in the present. Jack's heart swelled with pride as he looked at Ethan and Noah. Knowing that their future was bright, the weight of the past no longer burdened him. Instead, it had shaped him, and his sons, into a family that could withstand anything. Love, in its purest form, had carried them through it all. If you were moved by this story and want to hear more life-changing tales, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for more heartfelt stories that inspire, challenge, and remind us of the power of family and love. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to sharing the next chapter with you soon.